continue.
Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Okay, I see stuff now. Oh, you're demoing ServiceNow. So I compete more with ServiceNow than HubSpot. So show me.
Well, perfect. Okay, let me go ahead and get this ready. Okay. Okay, we're already recording, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all recorded.
Okay. Well, hi, Eli. My name is Isaiah. I'm a solutions consultant here at ServiceNow, and I definitely appreciate you taking time to meet with me. But how are you doing this evening?
Very good. Just think out of character for a second. Like ServiceNow, they call their sales engineer solution consultant. Salesforce, they call us solution engineers. So don't be confused, folks, because like each company call them something different. I'm doing good, thank you. I know we've been having a few issues lately, so curious to see how y'all can help us.
Oh, perfect. Well, then I'll go ahead and jump right into this. And if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to ask, and we can try and answer those as we go through it.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so going through here, this is just a quick slide I kind of put together, just like an overview of your company. I know briefly we spoke and you kind of went over some of the new things you guys are doing and how you've launched like a new service tailored to the e-commerce industry. And so you guys had some concerns as far as your infrastructure and things like that. And so this was just kind of just so I could see and make sure we're on the same track. So just to make sure this new service, it's being tailored towards the e-commerce industry, right? As far as like some new stores and just making sure that all the hosting and everything is going to be upkept. Is that kind of your customer profile right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly what we talked about.
Well, perfect. Okay, and then as we spoke, we kind of went through quite a few different concerns you had. And so I kind of just put it down to these top three, which kind of comes down to the outdated system that you're kind of using in the legacy system at the moment, which has also led to some concerns with security, whether it be data breaches, some different, as far as people getting access to information they shouldn't have within the organization. And then also with that being a legacy system, a lot of things are time consuming at the moment. And so you're looking to try to find ways to automate some of your workflows and pretty much just save some more time on the menial tasks. Is that correct?
Yep, 1 second, just taking notes. Yeah, okay.
Perfect. Well, I'm definitely excited to get into it. And so just so you know how ServiceNow works as far as from the security standpoint, of course, you want to make sure that all your data is kept separate. And so how it works is it's going to be based on instances. And so within that, you can rest assured that all your information will be separate. So a lot of organizations, what they tend to do is they'll have their main instance for what they're going to use in production. They may also have a demo instance where they're going to go ahead and test some new features they're trying to roll out, new applications they're building, and such and such. And you can know that whenever you make updates to each of these, they're all completely separate. So if you make a change and say your demo instance, it was here, it wouldn't affect production. So you can make sure that everything's separate, everything's managed differently. And then we'll get, as we go through the actual product, you'll be able to see some of the roles and how that can help as far as security goes within your organization. And then this is just a brief overview. Oh, sorry?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay, perfect. And so this is just a brief overview of what we do. ServiceNow is focused around 4 main workflows, what they call, which is just how they separate some of the applications and programs within it, which are going to be mainly IT focused, employee focused, customer focused, and then you even have the opportunity to build your own if, say, these don't work for you and you have something specific you need to build out. That is all within the platform as well. Did you have any questions about that particular spot, or are we tracking so far?
I'm good. I'm very familiar with like how ServiceNow started in the IT space and slowly progressed. And so today you're going in the IT workflows and how it went to employees and now customer. In today's demo, which pillars are we going to focus on, or all of them?
So we're just going to go over an overview of all of them, not get too in depth, but kind of give
Okay.
you a view of how this may work for your company.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and jump straight into the platform. So now this is what we call an instance. And so like you said, you're pretty familiar with that as far as what ServiceNow, how it started and all that good stuff. So jumping into some of the things here, which with outdated systems, of course, you're going to have older programming. Things aren't as fluid as far as the UI goes. And so here, this is going to be our main UI, where pretty much you're going to be doing all the work. This is where all the work will take place. Your employees will be in here. This is kind of their workspace, what you would call. And so here, this is just the home page. Of course, you can design this however you'd like, whatever you'd like your main homepage to be. That is completely up to you. But to go over some of the things that we offer here, here is where you're going to find all what they call the apps. So these are all applications within ServiceNow that are pre-built. And so each of them have subcategories where you can kind of dive into dashboards. We have service catalogs and different things we'll touch on through it. But of course, within all of these applications, you're also going to have the opportunity to actually build out your own. So of course, ServiceNow is huge, just like other platforms. No one's really going to know how to do everything. But within each of these categories, if you go through it and you're saying, you see something that you're like, I'd rather do this, or I want something to be made to work differently, you're always able to do that. And so just for the sake of the demo and our time, I did go ahead and favorite some of these applications so that we can kind of go through that. And showing this UI thing, just something I think is pretty cool here is that this little pin here in each of these menus, you're going to have that. But just so you know how it works, if you'd prefer a cleaner look, you can always unpin it. You can pin it back if you want to keep everything here. But just thought I'd share that. But now we're going to go over to our favorites. And so one of the things with the workflows that you guys currently have, you guys had said you want to save some time. And right now you're kind of keeping everything. Someone might report something through like a paper document or something like that. And so things kind of get scattered there. So here, I just want to go over our incident application here. And what the incidents are is, as you can see here, we have quite a few different ones. These you could consider your customers. So this is a caller. So for instance, in this particular incident, we have a David Miller. There's a short description just saying what the issue was. So they were unable to access a shared folder. And so you can see all of these are all separated like a low priority. We got critical, we got moderate. So within this system, you're able to categorize them based on the priority, how urgent it is, and also states as well. You can see closed. And all of these are, you can actually personalize them however you need to. So just to kind of see how an incident is submitted, we'll first jump into it just so you can see the information in it. And so this is what you'll see, what your employees will see when they're working with these incidents. So here we have different subcategories, and all this can be customized based on rules set in the system and different workflows, depending how your company wants to structure it. During production, they're able to go in and work on all that and then put it where it needs to be, use it how they see it. And we have the medium, low, all these different columns we can work in. And just so you know, when you're in an incident, here we have what we call the work notes, which is something that only employees within the system are going to see. So since you're say you're working with IT and a salesperson, they're both working the same problem issue here. You could be typing and say that they called at 5 and they still have no access, called at 5, no access. And when you post it, this will only be visible to other employees within your system. Now, if your customer has their portal set up and you want to touch base with them, you can put in received working on it. Click this little button here, and it's going to go ahead and show up to the customer where they're able to see it. And so this is really handy when you want to make sure that you're keeping in contact with your customers, and then also staying separate within your personal company, so that everything is kept separate, but you're still able to keep everything within one incident. And so that just kind of shows the incident there. But to show kind of where your employees or different customers will be able to actually report incidences and request different things, we can go ahead and go to, we're going to go here to our service portal. And so this is what the end user is going to see. And so here we have this called the service portal, and they can request anything from password resets to even hardware too. So to just give an example so you can see how this may work in your organization, when you click on request, we're going to have different categories here. And for the sake of this, we can go ahead and go to hardware. And let's say within your organization, someone needs to request a new phone, and go down to mobiles. And under here, you can see that I'm logged in as an administrator. This is my profile. So whenever I request it, this will be specific to me. And so let's just say, for the sake of the demo, we want to request the iPhone 13. It's going to look just like a regular e-commerce sales page, kind of like a lot of people are familiar with Amazon, really Walmart, a lot of different ones that you use.
Shopify.
You see, yep. And you can see the price. It even gives you the delivery time frame. And of course, all this can be changed on the inside of the ServiceNow platform. So say delivery time is not 2 days. Say we're not Amazon, and so we need a little bit more time. We can change that and update it so that your end users will be able to see that too. And we have the option to order now, or we can add to cart. We'll just click order now. Oh, and here we get an error because I did not complete the necessary required parts here. So we'll just say, is this lost? We'll click yes. No, we'll just do no. Monthly allowance, we want unlimited data, and we'll just go green, 128 gigs, and now we'll order. It's going to say who we're requesting it for, because this is under just the name system administrator. That's who it's going to be for. We have the option to add special instructions. Maybe it needs to go to a doorman. You can do that. Your employees will be able to do that, but we'll just go check out. And then there we go. Now it's refilled, and this requirement or request number, we can go ahead and copy that so we can see what it looks like inside the instance. And so we can see it's in fulfillment. So we'll go back to our instance here. We're going to go here to the all, and we're going to look up requests. And if we go to my request, we can see that it's been populated. It's on a low priority. So we'll go ahead and click this one. And here we can see the request. Now this one, it looks like it did not fulfill or fill in the actual information here, which is something that probably because the demo instance, it didn't fill in. Most times when you come through here, what will happen is it'll fill out everything in here. So you have the iPhone, you have the description, what the replacement was for.
So you don't have to rekey it.
Yep. Correct. Then we'll go out there. And then some of these things when you're working, just to show how you can, each individual within your space, say you like to see things differently than just a regular list, just to show something here. Say you're working on this particular one, you can right click on it, and we can go ahead and add it to something called a visual task board. And then here we have this task board, and go back to favorites. Let's click on ours. And then here we can see that we've added this card like of the incident here, which some people, sometimes it's easier to keep track of things by doing this, where you have a to-do, a doing, done, and then you can also customize this however you like. But this just goes to show that the UI in the back end or in this space, you can customize it however you'd like, in a way that fits your workflow and different spaces like within IT, they can customize it to what works for them without interfering with the main system.
Very nice. I'll let you continue with the flow, but I have a question. Can you show us like some of that, like those things, like are they out of the box, and or did you have to configure them?
So when you get set up, there's a team that will go in and help with the installation. As you talk, like you go through the account executive and you get set up, there's a team that can help with implementation so that whatever your organization needs, they can have that set up. In this instance, why we're seeing a lot of pre-filled data is because I'm in my developer instance. So a lot of things are pre-filled.
Okay, but they're pre-created, like it's those ticket objects exist, the request things.
Yes, correct. All that is it's pre-built there.
Yeah,
Of course,
there you
you
go.
can customize it however you'd like. But yes, the incident, you don't have to go in and code in the instance or the request. You don't have to go in and code all that. That's already pre-built there.
Okay, lovely.
Well, perfect. Any other questions so far?
No, so far so good.
Yeah, perfect. And then also two just last things we're going to touch on is just user groups and roles for security. And then we'll dive into some callers just to show how it might look for your customer base. So here when we go to roles, basically what a role is just it's a role assigned to a user for security. So say within an organization, you have a basic IT support agent who is helping your e-commerce customers. They just need setup. They have basic questions like, how does our portal work? Where can I find this? How do I set up my email, etc. That user, you may not want them to have access to some of the deeper information within that company, like their billing information, maybe some of their network passwords, or being able to change any of that. So here you can set the role of the user. So for this one, like you can see under our profile here, I'm under a system administrator profile. And so with those roles here, the system admin has pretty much most of these roles in, so they can do pretty much anything that's set. So when you're set up your organization, a lot of this, depending on who you want access to, your system admin will be able to come in here, assign roles. You can assign the roles by groups. So in that instance, a customer service, these specific roles you can assign based on what they need, so that not everyone's going to have access to everything. And then you can continue to do that. You can change it based on just users. And so different things that you can assign. And if you need to create different groups to assign the roles, you can also do that as well. But of course, I just want to just briefly touch on this because this does get more into depth when you go into building it out, building your groups, and just separating it that way.
Okay, that's good to know. And then, so each of those like if I'm a user, I get 5 of those permissions or 1 of them?
If you're a user, you're going to get a handful based on the organization. So
Okay.
If, for example, you only want just 1 role for this certain group, then you can assign it that way. But typically, they're going to have a handful of roles just based on whatever their needs are.
Perfect.
Perfect. And then lastly, just to show how some of your customer service calls may go, we'll go into our callers. So here, these are just pre-filled customer profiles. We just have simply last name, first name. We don't have anything in the business phone for right now. But for example, we'll just pull this up. And here, this could be your customer profile. So we have them under Able Tutor. You can assign different titles. If they're VIP, if maybe this person is with a certain client, you can put the customer name in there to differentiate it. And of course, add the mobile phones and things like that. But let's just say Able called in and he had an issue and we were speaking to him. To create an incident, we can see right here, we have our incident. Actually, let me minimize this here. Okay, and then we have our incident and configuration items, 2 different tabs. We're just going to focus on the incident area. Here we have a little it's personalizing for our list. We see we have no records here right now, but we'll just click on new. So we're going to create a new incident because Abel called in. And here, this is where we can put our description. So maybe Abel needed password help. So we'll be password reset. And then you can put in a short description, couldn't log in. And then here, just because this popped up, this is referencing our knowledge base, which is something I can touch on after this too, just because it did pop up. But pretty much when you're in certain areas, your knowledge base may pop up to show you some helpful articles that may help with requesting passwords. In this case, really that one would be the first one we'd go to. For the sake of this, we're just going to go ahead and fill this out. And then here, we're just going to hit submit. And then right here, we see that under Abel's profile, we have a new record. And here we see that it's in the first state, it's new, and it's under the help category. And so this is just a brief overview of how it would look and how to manage these different incidences. And then of course, if this is completed, you can click that little area. You can either delete it, you can archive it. You can even add tags to it, a lot of different things here, just so you know, just so you can customize this table and that incident however you need to. Okay. Then we're just going to click update here, and then we're back to this page.
Thank you.
Any questions about that or anything else you've noticed while going through this?
No, just time check. I do need to leave in 5 minutes. So.
Okay, well, perfect. Well, yes, I definitely appreciate your time. The last only little thing, just so if you want to go back on your own time, I'll just show you some customer stories here because I know we're new, you're working with us. So if you do want to see some of the other customers and their stories, you can go through here and we'll see if this loads here. And you can see we worked with Coca-Cola, Delta, Standard Charter, a few different stories here, but just want to show you that just so that you can know that we're pretty confident in being able to help companies. And we hope that we'd be a good fit for you guys.
Nice, thank you.
Welcome. Other than that, if you didn't have any other questions, we can go ahead and schedule with the account executive, and then they'll take over from this.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
And then I was being in character, just like to show that like staying within the time. Was there anything else you wanted to show?
No, that was pretty much it. I think I kind of went when I jumped into being like, oh, I'll volunteer, it like my plan went out the
it's
door.
Good. I mean, you went like 3 minutes over, like it's chill. Okay, how do you think you did?
I think I probably rambled a little bit at times. And I was trying to flow, but I feel like I definitely maybe had more, if I could have outlined it better and had more of a structure, I think that's probably something that I could have worked on. But overall, I think I kept going through my spots. Personally, I knew where I messed up, and so I just kind of kept going through it, which I think was a good part, so I didn't freeze up on the things that weren't working.
So I didn't see any of that stuff, so it's good. I really liked how you showed the same story from different sides. Like if I was a user submitting a request, if I am an employee working that request, if I'm the admin making sure everything is up and running. So you show that all very well. I was able to follow, right? I do this for a living. What you could do is like, before you do the demo, like, hey, I'm going to show you a few different personas today, like maybe have a slide or just talk about it. At the end, make sure when you're recapping, you're like mentioning those same things we've talked about. Like now all of this is pre-created. We own the security. You can now move on these newer systems, and you can say goodbye to manual tasks, just so like you wrap us up from the intro. But I know ServiceNow is a tough solution, and you did a very, very good. I mean, this is the first time I see it, right? I compete against them on once or twice a year, but this is the first time I see it. So I think you gave it justice, showing all these different pieces. So very good with the story, very good showing all these angles. The feedback, I would say, just make sure you focus on value, and don't forget when you're recapping, mention those values again. So you said them at the beginning and you peppered them a little bit. I don't want to like call anyone out, but play on the strength of what Camille, how he was saying all these values, and then Camille, what Isaiah showed, that was like very good how it's populated. I know, Isaiah, you had like a bunch there. You don't need Camille to go and create like a dozen, but like having 2 or 3 and then showing like, here is a person, here is a request, here's how they submit the request, just showing all of that. So for the rest of the folks, like I'm really happy that like you're seeing different folks with their strength. But yeah, you passed. Thank you for jumping in. All right. Who's ready to go next?
All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, let's rock and roll, Brian.
Let's rock and roll.